It's another R.I.P. moment for Apple. Today we have news, and we're not really surprised about this because it's been talked about. I think maybe even just a couple episodes ago, we were checking this product on the website and wondering, oh yeah, okay, they're still doing it. They're still shipping it. Because there was some curiosity around the future of it. That product happens to be the HomePod. This was the premium smart speaker offering. This is when we were talking about Assistant versus Siri. And Apple's playing the smart speaker territory and how it hadn't really taken off like some of their other product segments. So the original HomePod actually came out a little while ago, and then it didn't really get updated. We were also talking about products to purchase from Apple and other ones that were waiting for an update. Well, this is one of those that was waiting a really long time for an update. So long, in fact, that the speculation around his departure has been going on for a long time. Turns out it's hard to make a smart speaker. And actually, in Apple's case, it seems like when they get into speakers in general, because they also had iPod-specific speakers. I remember the Hi-Fi, which is actually a pretty nice speaker. They get into speakers, get out of speakers. This one sort of felt like it could hang around only because of the insistence on figuring out an assistant, figuring out voice. You would think, okay, you have a couple different products couple different products you can purchase that have these features in there that you can start to improve upon and become a part of people's lives. But even Google, actually, as far as the big speaker was concerned, I believe they got out of it too.
The Google Max.
You know what maybe the problem is? Maybe the problem is these companies are so efficient from the standpoint of distribution and shipping and assembly line that these larger speakers, they're like, oh, look at these things taking up all this space over here. We only sell 12,000 of them. We're used to selling hundreds of thousands, millions of things.
Yeah.
The demand might not be high enough to justify the lack of efficiency around those products. Because if you look at this particular announcement as far as killing the HomePod, they say, nah, we're just going to focus on the HomePod Mini. We're not going to get out of voice or smart speakers. We're just going to focus on the mini version.
Yeah.
So that makes me wonder about the efficiency from the production standpoint, from the shipping standpoint, from the warehousing standpoint, but also from the standpoint of, does the average person really want a large speaker? Does the average person, the space that they're living in constitute a massive amount of sound? And it might be the unfortunate reality that that's just not the case for most individuals, and they're gravitating towards more portable or at least smaller units. Also, I'll just add to that, it's been kind of amazing to see what companies have been able to achieve through a variety of software and sensors and microphones for how to make smaller speakers perform better in a variety of environments to sound like bigger speakers. And then on top of that, the ability to pair them together. Multiple small speakers if you do need more sound. I'd say it's a little bit unfortunate only because I'm kind of an audio person. I don't have a problem with big speakers.
Yeah.
I don't.
But would you get like a HomePod, or would you get like a dedicated speaker?
Yeah, in most cases for me, I'm not gravitating towards the smart speakers because there's something better out there.
Right.
And then we've just had it around the studio. We've just had access to it. There's many examples that have been featured on the channel. I mean, I don't need to tell you. Most recently, those enormous Porsche design speakers. I mean, I don't need to tell you, Will. Yeah. We had a lot of sound in this place over the years. So we're not the typical customer from that standpoint. Because one of the things about sound is once you've heard big sound, it to go to like a mini little speaker, you can obviously tell the difference. And then just at home, I haven't fully adopted the listening all the time, whether it's Alexa or Google or Apple or anybody. I haven't adopted it. You know what I mean? I have at different times had these speakers lying about, and I have at different times utilized them more or less. But often I end up just kind of like my relationship with smartwatches, where I'll just be like, man, I could do so much of this just by reaching for my phone. Do I really need all these other dedicated devices? to replace your phone, because that's essentially what they kind of end up doing in many cases, whether you're searching for something, reordering something, putting a particular song on. Now I'm about to move really soon. I don't know. Maybe then I'm more interested in voice because I just wired this one up a little different. Yeah. But you can have all the features, you can have all the gadgets in the world, Will, and this speaks to the power of the smartphone. You can have all the gadgets in the world and still finding yourself with the habit of just reaching for the phone to do the task.
Yeah.
Because you're just like...
It's been so efficient.
And it's so ingrained in your brain that if you have an answer, you have a question that you're asking, you reach for the phone rather than some other means to achieve the thing. Anyway, so it's R.I.P. to the big HomePod. It's R.I.P. to the best sounding Apple device that's out there. And I guess one benefit here is that by them investing more in the Mini, maybe maybe you're going to see some improvements in the sound performance. I don't know what they're going to be capable of doing, but I've looked at companies, obviously like Devialet, that have been able to pull an enormous amount of sound out of a small unit through a use of non-traditional materials like metallic components and high pressure situations that they're able to create in small packages. Now, they're still bigger than the HomePod Mini, but it's an example of how you can do more with less. They came out with that small speaker you were using for a little bit.
Yep.
I don't remember what the name of the small one is. I'm mostly using the larger one. The small one was the... wait a sec. They don't list it anymore? The Phantom Reactor. It was called the Reactor.
Yeah.
But they don't list it anymore? Or is it underneath? Oh, click view all maybe. Oh, wow. Did they get rid of the Reactor? Oh, there it is. There's no small. Phantom 2. They changed the name of it maybe.
Is that the size?
Dude, I don't know, man. This is tough. Oh, look at those black. They got them in.
That's a new color, right?
That's a new color for the full size. The matte black on the full size. Well, now we're all excited and interested, and now we're like, wait a second, what's going on over here? Because we kind of need those over there.
Yeah. Do we, though?
No, I mean, we don't. We got the other ones in the background. They sound fantastic, but
I want to get to the bottom of this.
I didn't realize that they had upgraded such a thing. Meet Phantom 2. Like, this just happened. Somehow we missed this announcement. Nobody told us. It says soon, 95 dB black Phantom 2. But it's a cheaper unit. Look, 990 euros. Ultra compact wireless speaker. So Phantom 2 must be reactor status as far as scale. It's so hard to tell the scale without seeing it next to something because, that's the reactor.
And it comes in black now, too.
That's pretty tiny, that thing. But it's certainly not HomePod Mini tiny.
No.
But I'm just saying, if I'm Apple, they can figure out how to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of those circumstances as well where you had a device that people actually liked. There were a lot of positive things said about the original HomePod outside of the voice assistant, just as a speaker, as a smart speaker. And that's not enough to keep it around, as you can see here. R.I.P. to the HomePod. Today's sponsor, another audio-related sponsor, Raycon wireless earbuds, in fact. Whether you're catching up on your favorite news podcast, I don't know, could be Lou later. I don't know. It's up to you. Binging an audiobook or powering through your workout with a pumped up playlist. What's on your pumped up playlist, Will?
I listen to Drake from time to time.
Drake, if you got to get going, if you got to get yourself fired up.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah.
A pair of Raycons in your ears can make all the difference. No dangling wires. We are, of course, talking about some true wireless earbuds, as they like to call them. So these are whether you want to get like an over-the-ear style or an in-ear style. There's actually a couple different versions of the in-ear models. The everyday earbuds you can see listed $79.99, obviously a fraction of the cost of some of the other brands you might be familiar with. The Performer earbuds is a little slight upgrade at $119.99, and then they have a Trendsetter headphone, which is an over-ear style at $99.99. Whole concept here is to get people into a true wireless setup for less money, as I mentioned, from some of those brands you may have seen in the past and heard about. Raycons are built to perform anywhere and anytime with water and sweat-resistant construction and Bluetooth that pairs quickly and seamlessly, enough battery life for 6 hours of playtime. And they're accessible to everyone. Wireless earbuds starting at half the price of other premium audio brands. So you can see the price right now starting at $79, but because they're sponsoring the show and they want to talk to you guys directly, there's another deal on top of that. Raycon's offering 15% off all of their products to you guys. Here's what you got to do to get it. Go to buyraycon.com/LouLater. That's it. You'll get 15% off your entire Raycon order. Feel free to grab a pair and a spare. That's 15% off at buyraycon.com/LouLater. buyraycon.com/LouLater, or click the link in the description in order to get 15% off your entire order. Thanks to Raycon. Yesterday, was it? Maybe 2 days ago? No, yesterday. We were talking about black phones. Jet black, real black smartphones.
Phantom black.
Phantom black, dare I say. You got a black shirt on today, Will.
Yeah.
A black
Good
t-shirt.
times.
Oh, because the weather has been getting nicer, you started thinking about t-shirts.
I'm trying to reflect that.
Even though today it got cold again.
I know, yeah.
It's kind of funny how that works.
It's the reverse.
But yesterday was definitely, it was getting warmer, and I started thinking about the wardrobe as well. Started thinking about, what am I going to do here?
When do shorts come in?
I don't know. For me, because I'm always hot, like they probably come out pretty soon.
Yeah.
I actually just ordered a new pair of slides, Adidas slides.
Oh, okay.
And I'm actually wearing the Adidas hat to celebrate the fact that I did this thing.
Okay.
Because I had been wanting to order these for a really long time, but somehow I didn't.
Oh, you don't have these? I thought.
No. I have many of those that you're looking at there, but it's actually the one that I purchased is the Ultra Boost slide. So it's boost in the slide, which I'm not telling anybody to get this. It's I mean, unless you find it on sale, because it's kind of a ridiculous amount of money to pay for a slide. But check the boost in the slide. Now, I didn't get I got the all black, but
right.
You got to boost in the slide.
Wow.
Now, one thing I will say, I did a little bit of research prior to ordering this. Like a lot of Boost products, it fits small. So I actually sized up to, well, I don't know if sized up, because in Ultra Boost, it's not even really a size up for me. Let's put it this way. I'm either 11 or 12. I got 12 in this to be safe.
Okay.
Which you might think in a slide, you're insane. Because you might think it's going to fall off, but it's a tighter fitting slide. So it should be okay. We're going to find out today. It's coming today. I don't know. I might hit you back on the next episode of this. I'll let you know how it goes. But $60 for a slide is a bit ridiculous. However, I was watching a couple of videos. I watched Seth Fowler on YouTube, and he was saying that he got his on a sale for $30. But you can see like that one is sold out on Adidas.com. So
they look nice.
People want these things. Anyway, what a sidetrack. Anyways, how did I even get there from a black phone? Oh, because of the weather and the wardrobe and your t-shirt. Yeah. It's your fault, not mine. Black phones. For whatever reason, it's the hot topic right now. Is because it actually turns out it's hard to do like a deep black color phone or consumer electronics product that doesn't end up looking like trash shortly after you purchased it. And the reason being is because it's showing all the micro scratches and things. And I had totally forgot that on the iPhone 7, they had a jet black model. And then they got out of it real quick. They're like, yep, jet black. And then they're like, nah, we're out.
Really?
You don't remember this, do you?
Was it matte?
It was short-lived. No, jet black right over there. You can see
this one.
Nope, that's the matte one. Go back up to the top. Right there, refurbished. iPhone 7 jet black 256 used 184.82. You see the jet black finish? It was glossy.
Oh.
I know. It's forgotten. Nobody talks about it. Everybody forgets this one. It was a jet black glossy finish that showed every tiny little scratch. Now, some people, they didn't care. They said, I want the jet black phone. Leave me alone. I'll deal with the scratches. It was kind of like, you remember those early iPods with the chrome finish?
Yeah.
It got so many scratches, but it also
looked so great right when you
peeled it off, when you pulled it out the package, it was a moment that you had. I mean, that's the thing about glossy anything. When you pull it out the package, it looks fantastic for about 5 seconds. Anyway, it was a discussion around the iPhone 7, jet black versus matte black. People were talking at that time But the jet black was the one that was getting a lot of attention from people like us, and it's crazy how long ago that feels right now. Anyway, it turns out that Apple is actively working and thinking about black, just like the other brands are, as you would imagine. And we had this post came out on Friday that Apple apparently prototyped a jet black iPhone 10. So that's a lot more recently than the iPhone 7, and I guess they decided to put it to bed. But it showcases the fact that they're still playing around with the idea and trying to figure out what the right finish might be. So this tweet came via Mr. White on Twitter, and the caption, "They have tried iPhone 10 jet black before." And this is I guess, is it just a shell or is it a dummy phone? Hard to say exactly, but there's no logo on it. So it's either a prototype or a dummy that was mocked up. But you can see the difference between what was offered up as the darkest iPhone 10 at the time next to the jet black. I mean, it's a whole nother level to it.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty black.
There you go. Well, I know you're a big guy as far as the darkness of a paint as well.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. It's hard.
Black,
it's hard to get black.
Yeah.
In fact, you were angry about the back wall just a moment ago. You're like, how black is that black? And I'm like, dude, it's as black as it gets. And we got all kinds of comments actually on the show over here that's saying, and this is a little sidetrack, but they're saying, hey, on my OLED screen, Lou, the backdrop, unbelievable. It just drops right out. And then you want to know the other
energy
thing.
Savings.
Yeah, for anybody who's complaining about the show, cool. the set, there's actually a technical aspect to it, which is that you are saving tremendous battery life. Now, if you have an OLED display, those pixels are turned off, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
When you're watching the long show.
Yeah.
Also, if you're watching in the evening, as you might be, maybe you got a partner next to you as you're trying to catch, right, they're trying to get some sleep. It's an early morning. But you got the phone on the lowest brightness. But if you have white in there, it's still too bright.
Yeah.
But we got the black backdrop for you. You see how we thought about this for you? We take care of you over here.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
We thought about you.
What happens with the T-shirt is the opposite, because every time you wash it, it gets more white.
Yeah.
Which is what you're experiencing right now.
Yeah, I'm having difficulties.
I experience it all the time. So it turns out what I'm trying to get at here, black is hard, but it's got a real punch to it when you nail it and you're able to achieve it and do it well. So hopefully Apple uses some of this prototyping and experience to figure out how to do their very own on the next version, so you get a true black option from the company. Last Apple-related story of the day, Toyota president had a few words for Tim as far as making cars. And I don't know. I'm not surprised to hear it. It is a consideration. It is something different. There's a lot of talk where, even people like us would be like, yeah, Apple, go do the car. What are you doing? Go do the car.
Right?
Make a car already. And you forget some of the differences, or at least it's under publicized, some of the differences between the automotive segment and the smartphone consumer electronics segment. You drop your phone, sucks. Bad day. It's a bad day, but you move on. What do? I don't know. You get the screen replaced. It's cracked.
Yeah.
Actually, I got to say, I got the later case going on.
You do.
And I'm just going to say something right now. This case does not exist as the ultimate in phone protection. That's not the point of it.
No?
No.
Okay.
The case exists to be the slimmest thing that you can put on your phone. Right? I've made that statement many times. If you're looking for ultimate drop protection, this ain't it. But I'll just say, I'm testing out a new color, by the way.
Okay.
And today I dropped the phone, and I rarely drop the phone. I dropped the phone on the tile in the bathroom from about waist height. And it survived. It came down, and there's just enough material on that corner which stops the glass from making a direct impact. It's just absorbed just enough. So maybe it has more drop protection than I had imagined. And maybe I need to actually drop test the thing to see what it's capable of, because it truly surprised me that little tiny bit of Kevlar was capable of, in that exact circumstance, the way it fell and all the rest of it. So this was an unintended shout out, but a lot of people doing hard work over on the later case team. And Willie do want to give a shout out to his own colorway. Yeah, that's the Willie Do Blue, also known as Willie Blue. And somebody just bought one. You see it in the corner?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, somebody just bought one.
Shout out.
You understand? They love it. Anyway.
What are we talking about?
Well, what we're saying is if you drop the phone, even if it goes catastrophically wrong, it ain't the equivalent of dropping your car. It ain't the equivalent, Will, of what happens if your car goes faulty, let's say. This is life and death. For real. Mm-hmm. It's a different level to it. And what did Tesla figure out whenever there was an issue with one of their vehicles? Because it was Tesla, all of a sudden it was huge headlines. Apple doesn't have to deal with those type of headlines. I mean, every so often a phone explodes in a pocket or something, but it's small time compared to if somebody lose their life. Mm-hmm. If somebody was on that highway in Apple's autonomous car and it didn't do something right, now it's a whole different level of regulation and scrutiny and headlines and all the rest. It's just cars, man. Cars, recalls, safety belts, airbags, a safety testing, highway safety, highway insurance act, variety of things.
Yeah.
So Toyota guy comes out and says, Apple is cool what you're up to. Come step in the game. Lovely stuff. Cars are cool. He says, but just realize it's a 40-year situation. Just realize that you're going to be supporting this stuff for a long period of time. He says Apple should be prepared to offer support for Apple car models for 40 years. What? It makes you realize how long the car business has been going on and the smartphone business is fresh. It would be the equivalent of Apple offering support to, I don't know, an Apple II or something. Like it's out of control. Now, obviously, people are holding on to cars not quite as long as they used to. People are refreshing those things relatively quickly, but you're still holding on to it longer than your smartphone in most cases. You will see 20-year-old cars on the road. It does exist. Mm-hmm. Imagine a person using a 20-year-old phone. What even is that phone? That brings you to 2000. What do you have? I don't know. It's not a smartphone. It's like, is it a smartphone? No. It's like one of those Nokia type things, right? Yeah. It's the 3310. I had it.
Really?
Yeah, man, I had it.
It debuted in 2000.
I had it. Now, if somebody was driving a 20-year-old car, you might look at it and be like, well, A to B gets you there. But if you saw a person that's using the Nokia 3310, you would be in shock. Oh, I'm sure some people are using it. That thing was a tank. You know it.
Yeah. People use it as a weapon.
So Toyota president, he was just doing an interview. He wasn't trying to take any shots. He just says, consider this, that the automotive is a little bit different than the smartphone or consumer electronics game. Be prepared for everything that comes with it. Paying attention, providing support, pushing the recalls. I'm not saying Apple can't do it. I'm just saying something to consider. Mm-hmm. Another quick automotive story. We have Hyundai, who keeps showing me these cool shapes. They keep showing me cool shapes. And they did it again. This product called the Staria is what The Verge calls the coolest looking minivan in years. Now, the minivan, never really known for being the coolest looking thing. However, tremendous utility on these vehicles as far as moving people around.
Huge gas tank.
Myself, I spoke recently about the trip across the country when I was a young man with the family. Uh-huh. Shout out the family for doing such a thing. This was one of these vehicles that made it possible.
Yeah.
What we did, in fact, I believe we rented it at the time. I don't think we had one. I think we rented it. But what we did was we took the seats out. We took was it the middle row seats or the final row seats? I don't remember, but we took the seats out so we could actually have like a picnic area in there as well for eating, pulling over on the side, because it was just myself, my brother, my parents. We had enough seating
Right.
that we could remove a bunch of it and then just have like a big cabin.
Yeah.
You could play a board game on the floor. Unbelievable
There's
time.
lots of space.
I mean, different era, unbelievable times. These are the things you could do. Anyway, so the popularity of the minivan sort of faded and people gravitate towards the SUVs and things like this. But there's still plenty of ways in which the minivan is superior to the SUV. Many ways. The giant sliding door, sometimes automatic if you want it. The amount of load space I mean, it's a van.
Yeah, it is.
It's tremendous.
You seem really excited.
Look, if they can figure out how to make one of these things look cool, then I think they can find a customer base for it.
Okay.
Especially now that the road trip and the different forms of entertainment that people are looking towards. So this is Hyundai's take on it, and they got, again, what The Verge is calling retro-futuristic. And I think they've nailed this idea of retro-futuristic on a number of their designs that we've been showcasing in the past. You can scroll down and go through a slideshow. It's all very mysterious because, well, the product isn't out yet, and they're trying to, just tease it a little bit.
This guy looks huge.
Well, it's just, I mean, he's in the foreground. But they have a similar light bar in the front to what you've seen on some other electric vehicles. Here's the silhouette from the side. I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot of cargo in there. It's going to be, I'll tell you what, Otis will let to ride around in such a thing.
Yeah. I like the fact that it's streamlined. Like it's right angles. It's
actually probably fairly aerodynamic.
Yeah.
The shape of it.
Store boxes in the back.
Huge windows as well, which when you're sitting inside the cabin makes it feel very spacious. When you have windows, I mean, the whole side of the car is windows.
What was that? The fender is very flat.
Subtle.
Too? Yeah.
Very subtle.
Cool.
I don't know, man. I mean, the interior, obviously. Look at the second row of seats. The next click. Come on, dude.
Oh,
Come on, dude.
nice.
Come on, dude. I mean, you go on a trip on something like that. I didn't have that. I wasn't going across the country like that. But now you can. That's the beauty of it. Fully extending, relaxing seats with the leg rests and everything else. They're doing stuff over there. This company is doing stuff. They're showing off comfortable interiors, retro-futuristic designs, all-electric platform. Very interesting.
Cool.
Foxconn executive has purchased a $2 million home in Wisconsin. Have not given an update on this story in a really long time. There was some sort of tax incentive, government relationship, negotiations around Foxconn bringing some level of manufacturing, potentially assembly, to the United States, particularly in Wisconsin. They say they were going to, originally, I think the mandate was to bring around, here it is, 13,000 jobs to a place called Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin. And it never really took off. In fact, it was so slow moving that the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation denied tax credits for the company because it hadn't fulfilled the minimum job creation requirements. And so you may have thought at that point, all right, the whole thing is not going to happen. It's not going to take off. This is a mess. It's not going to work out. But then you catch a piece of news like this, that a major Foxconn executive moves into town. I think you can probably get a decent place for $2 million in Mount Pleasant. I'm just guessing. So moves in along with his wife, and he has a high title. His title, what was the title? The Director of U.S. Strategic Initiatives.
Wow.
Moves in there.
Well, he would be the first one because he's a initiative.
Got to get in there.
Yeah.
So he buys a place for himself, $2.18 million, and maybe this begins to turn things around. Maybe they start to take it serious. Maybe we see some of these products with a little Wisconsin touch. I don't know, man. It ain't there yet, but this is one signal in that direction. OnePlus, we have confirmation now because of a tweet from OnePlus that their event on March 23rd will officially feature a smartwatch, or at least something you wear on your wrist. This was rumored. It's not a surprise. They were supposed to put out the 3 phones and the smartwatch. And now this tweet comes out, which is very teasy, but shows all the components necessary for a wearable, for a watch. And I clicked the same thing you clicked a number of times, and it wrecked me to the point where I should have warned you. What you have to do is just click the tweet instead of the link, up top. Or go to OnePlus's Twitter
But then
account.
I have to look for it. Right?
No, I meant click on the tweet, exactly. There you go.
There's no the hand pointer.
Yeah, you just click on the big portion of the tweet. Anyway, so it's a little slideshow, I guess. Well, it's actually a video upload, but it's essentially a slideshow showing what is definitely a wearable, because you're seeing the shapes that would be required to make a wearable, including that one, which is a wrist strap, and that one, which shows the holes, the punch holes in the wrist strap that obviously go to a watch. And so we're going to have a OnePlus smartwatch. I think it makes sense. I start to look at this stuff and realize, wow, they don't have one yet. Yeah, why not do one? I mean, they're so connected over there as far as the sister brand Oppo is concerned. We've seen their smartwatches. So it's like, oh yeah, what would OnePlus's take on such a thing be? We know they can do the hardware, at least tap into the hardware. And I always love what they do with the software as far as keeping it streamlined and not bloating it up.
Yep.
A real question here is around the software for me. Are we getting Android Wear? What's that going to look like? But we have confirmation. You're going to see a OnePlus smartwatch. Cool. Oh, Oculus news. I saw a report, I think it was yesterday, day before, saying that Facebook was shifting a large portion of the workforce into VR and AR related stuff, taking a big long look and putting a big bet down, I guess, on the Oculus aspect of their business. Now we have apparently an actual number, nearly 10,000 people at Facebook working on AR and VR. 10,000. I just want you to picture 10,000 people working on AR and VR. 10,000 intelligent people, 10,000 engineers and programmers and
testers.
It's a lot. That's some manpower.
Yeah.
We might see some things.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing around with the Oculus last night.
Oh yeah? What'd you think?
I was playing around with the Oculus Go 2.
Oculus Quest.
Quest 2.
The wireless.
What was the Go?
It's almost the same thing.
Anyway, I was playing with the Quest.
Let me just check here.
Was Go cheaper?
It was cheaper.
Oh, yeah. Go was the cheaper one. No. I was playing with the Quest 2. Better than the Go.
Yeah.
Because I had the controllers, the motion controllers.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, man, my kids got into it. Yeah. Like, I got scared, man.
Yeah, you were living?
Because the level of immersion.
Yeah.
With like you said, without wires.
Uh-huh.
And with everything being embedded in the headset and having a relatively lightweight headset experience.
Yep. You kind of just draw your room.
And so what we did is the kids were in it, I was in it, and also my dad, we put him in it.
Oh. What did he think?
He was like, I can't. He was like, I can't
put it down?
No. He was like, I can't be in there too long. He's like, I'm gonna fall over. He can't be in there too long. But
there's some fun games.
But he loved it though.
Game.
He loved it though.
Yeah.
But the kids, I was like, oh man, I better monitor what's going on here, because all of a sudden I didn't see Will for a while, and then he's just in the headset for hours on end, and then guess what? Then he forgets his boundary and he's doing some kind of punching game. And he punches square the wall, blood everywhere on the knuckles.
Yeah, that happens.
And I was like, do not.
Happens to the best of us.
I was like, do not show your mother. This what's going on over here. Anyway, no, man, it's for the money. The entertainment potential for the money is out of control.
Yeah,
it's out of control on that device. $299 USD. Get out of town.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with it.
By the way, I'll tell you one other thing. I think since you set it up, they were buying games on your credit card.
Yeah, I got some. I got some receipts over here that I need to Reimburse.
And I couldn't figure out how to put another card on it. But anyway,
Sure.
nonetheless,
figure it.
yeah, whether or not you choose to believe me, well, it was like, he's like, I'm buying it, Dad, I'm buying it. I got to get Beat Saber and this one and that one. Anyway, point being is they have an experience. They have a pretty good experience already for the money. And Facebook's a huge company and they're betting on it and they put 10,000 people on it. And I'm curious to see what all those 10,000 people are going to get up to. There's a scary aspect to it, which is like, are you going to be able to get out of it?
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to put the headset down once it's all got all your social media components and gaming components, entertainment components? It's but then on the flip side, so long as you have some level of discipline in your life, it can really give you a punch.
Until it gets so much better.
Yeah, that you're stuck.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting stuck, as far as gaming's concerned, you can now play Zelda Breath of the Wild in a first-person point of view mode. Oh. I never expected to see the day. It's a glitch. It's not officially supported, but it got me thinking this was one of those games I played. I told you it's a real atmospheric thing. Now, I at no point thought, I wish this was first-person. It almost feels weird for a Zelda game to be first-person, but it is interesting to catch a look at what that might be like. So if you click the play button right here, you'll see he goes into the menu. Does he go into the menu? Yeah, okay, he goes into the menu here, and somehow, I don't know how he's triggering the glitch. Activating the glitch isn't all that complicated. No modifications to the game or system are required. As you can see above, all you need to do is pull out the in-game camera while holding an item and then canceling it. After that, your camera is set to first person. You'll be able to see Link's shadow up close and walk about. So I can't believe that this glitch, being as simple as it was, never happened to me accidentally or was ever showcased. But anyway, here you have it. This is what it would look like. What do you think happens to the game, Will, from an immersion standpoint or from like an experience standpoint to go to first person rather than third?
It'd probably be more immersive.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But does it spoil anything for you to not see the costume or to not see the weapons on the back?
Well, I'm sure it's not meant to be played this way.
No, definitely not.
I'm curious if he pulls out the bow or a knife or like a sword or something, how it would look. Because it's probably not modeled in this perspective.
No. I guess my question is more hypothetical.
I'm just like diving into the technical side.
Just whether or not you think a Zelda game could be cooler, in fact, in first person as opposed to third.
You know, that's a good question. It's always been, you can always see the character.
Possibly a Zelda game in VR.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just talking right now.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I'm just talking. Here we have some videos of illegal Bitcoin mines that are apparently causing power blackouts. Now, this is in a place, Abkhazia, tiny disputed Black Sea territory, has hundreds of illegal Bitcoin mining facilities hidden in basements, villages, and shipping containers. Whoa. Officials in the tiny disputed Black Sea territory of Abkhazia are determined to show their crackdown on rampant mom-and-pop Bitcoin mining operations. Bitcoin mining has become big business, yeah, obviously, but it's wrecking their grid apparently over there. Well, I suppose it has the potential to wreck many. It all depends on what type of setup that the place happens to have, whether there's an abundance of energy or not. And that varies quite substantially from place to place. Bitcoin mining has become big business in the impoverished area. The digital farms are consuming so much power, they've been blamed for rolling blackouts. And now the region is estimated to have more than one crypto mining facility for every 400 residents. How big is each facility? The Ministry of Internal Affairs announced in 2 YouTube videos this week it has raided a series of Bitcoin mining operations that were illegally connected to the power grid. Okay. Stealing power.
Right.
Yikes. In one of the videos, a narrator announces that officials there had identified a large cryptocurrency mining facility in the village and several that were illegally connected to the power grid. They have taken down 8 mining operations in recent weeks. Actually, if you go down to the second video that's linked, I guess you went past it. Yeah, there you go. You can see one of them in action. This is a minute-long clip. Wow, look at in the basement with the stone floor and the metal gate.
That's crypto mining for you.
Wow, in the old building like that. That is so... What a future, Will. Holy cow.
Rundown house.
Yeah, like the house is barely standing, but it is loaded with crypto mining hardware. And I don't know if this one in particular, it looks mostly like ASICs, by the way. But I don't know if this one in particular is the illegal one. I presume it is, connected illegally to the power grid. Whoa. The citizens are like, I can't even watch TV with the blackouts. I can't even charge my phone.
Yeah.
Can't even have a hot shower. Our shower's probably gas operated. Anyway, so this is the type of thing going on around the world. People are talking about it, energy consumption. Obviously, it depends on where you are. Like I said, some places have abundant energy. It's not such a big deal elsewhere. It can be. I don't know if you've ever met this particular culture on YouTube or not, Will, but I did, probably because of the kids. They started getting interest in the Nerf weapons. Are they not weapons? Nerf toys, really. I don't know. Wait a sec. Are they? What are you supposed to call them? They're launchers, blasters. That's what they call them, blasters. You see, because you can't get too violent with it.
Sure.
Anyway, it brought me into this culture, and then I saw this Verge post, and I'm like, oh, I'm not the only one that was kind of interested in it. It's an entire modding culture, DIY Nerf modding culture, where these guys are doing incredible things with these blasters.
Yeah.
Have you ever encountered it before?
No. This is a rabbit hole
You haven't been down it? It's I'm talking replacing motors, replacing battery systems to either increase rate of fire, to either increase velocity in some cases, and also just for looks, they can make these incredible video game looking things.
Okay.
You can scroll down to one of the latest mods from, I guess, the feature interview from this particular article.
This one?
Out of Darts. Here's a Nerf mod which takes a rival weapon, and you're going to think it looks fairly finished, but in the video, this guy's channel, by the way, Out of Darts, in the video, he's not even really satisfied with it. He's like, well, if I had my 3D printer, I would have done this more custom or that. This blaster here, Will, is not supposed to have these tubes on the side.
Right.
He increased the number of the amount of ammo it can hold by a substantial amount. Normally, it would just be housed in the chamber of the blaster. It's a Nerf Rival Zeus, and this mod gives it 108 balls, which you'll see him fire in a second. Now, he talks about, okay, I don't know how stable it's going to be or how long this fan unit's going to run for. And maybe I'll burn it out. I don't know. But he's like, the fan units only cost this much, so I don't really care. And you'll see when he goes to fire here, this guy, I mean, there's no reloading necessary. He's got plenty of ammo for whatever battle he may encounter. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that, how they move through, get pushed through the tubes.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, this is just one guy. I've encountered very many as I've looked into it. And in some cases, they can get these things into some pretty tremendous rate of fire and pretty tremendous velocity, up to like, I don't know, 150 feet per second type of thing.
I see, yeah. That's cool.
And some of them, what they'll do, Will, is they'll do these really elaborate artistic paint jobs as well to make them look like old... Like you discovered some old military weapon, kind of like Gears of War type of thing. They'll do some amazing techniques from an art perspective as well. So it's a whole scene, and people are starting to figure it out, or what can you say? Pay attention to it, pulling a few million views and things like this. Well, just another YouTube rabbit hole for you.
Sure.
Oh, look at this one. This is something called a ghost bird. I bet you never saw this one before. A ghost bird that spooks a woman when she spots the rare creature sitting on a fence post soaking up the sun. Ooh.
Oh.
I've never seen this. I never saw that bird before in my life. It does look like a ghost. It has a huge mouth. Terrifying mouth.
Huge head.
Rare.
For a bird.
A rare great Potoo bird. Potoo or Potoo bird? Potoo bird. Was spotted by a woman who initially mistook it for wood. It kind of looks like a piece of wood standing on a piece of wood. This bird was perched on a fence post in Chibolo, Colombia. She and a child made noises at the bird, and then it revealed its enormous mouth. Isn't that interesting? You can live a whole life, I haven't lived a whole life, but you can live 35 years and you never saw this bird. No. I saw all types of animals. I never saw this bird before, and it actually turns out it's relatively terrifying, in fact. Unusually shaped beak, bizarre-looking creature. It's nocturnal, but for some reason in this case, it enjoyed the bright sunshine. Maybe it's got an issue. I don't know. Maybe it's not feeling so well. Maybe it's got a tummy ache. I don't know why it's out in the sunlight, but the fact that it's nocturnal, I guess, helps to explain the reason it's not so popular, not as popular as some other birds that are out there. But I guess the owl is nocturnal as well. And the owl gets all types of press.
Well, the owl doesn't look like this.
No, the owl's a little cuter than that.
Yeah.
But owls, you ever watch an owl do some hunting
fearsome.
At night?
Oh, yeah.
An owl figured some things out.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm about to blow your mind on the next one, Will. Woman in China went to doctor about a hurt ankle only to be told she was born a man.
Shouldn't laugh at this, but
whoa! See, you were unprepared for that. You go to the doctor, headline. You got a sore ankle. They're like, "Excuse me, miss, you're actually a man." I guess there was some sort of at birth. She was switched. She was both, and they had to pick one or the other sex, and they go with female, but then she couldn't get pregnant, and she thought that was an issue. She had tried to get pregnant for 12 months, and it wasn't happening. I mean, she didn't have certain components like a uterus and things like this, but just have been. But who would know? You wouldn't know. The external genitalia was female, so you wouldn't know.
Oh.
I got no uterus in there. Well, you would know because you didn't have the menstrual cycle. You would know that. But some other people, she says she didn't look into that because it was embarrassing. But like some people have issues with that exclusively, or not necessarily alongside having been born the alternate sex. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to get at here?
Oh, this is a
25-year-old woman.
Turn of events.
A 25-year-old woman in eastern China who failed to fall pregnant after 12 months was shocked to discover she was actually born male. Stumbled upon this discovery after an x-ray of her injured ankle was taken at a hospital in her hometown. The x-ray revealed that her bones had not developed past the age of adolescence. Doctors further probing uncovered the fact that Ping Ping, that's not the real name. They used it in this article to protect the identity. South China Morning Post coming through again, by the way. When I was young, my mom took me to the doctor. Doctor said I was developing slower than others. Wow.
What she did?
After I grew up, I found this issue quite embarrassing, so I didn't treat it seriously. During a visit to an endocrinologist at the hospital, Ping Ping said, my husband and I have been trying to have a baby for a year, although it's been in vain. Is that also related to my bone age? Test results indicated she had suffered high blood pressure, low blood potassium. So there were some other issues as well involved. But once they did the genetic test, they were like, you know what? There's more to the story here. You were actually born a male. And now she's having difficulty figuring out how to live or which one to live as. Had lived an entire life to that point, female, had a husband, and then found out at this point later in life, actually, that's not what you thought.
Mm-hmm.
You are so confused right now. You have no response to this. Imagine you go for a regular doctor's appointment and they're like, actually,
Yeah.
you had it wrong all along. You had it
Can
wrong
you
this
fix my
whole.
ankle though?
Yeah. You had it wrong all along.
That is very shocking. It's like,
Well, first of all, it's not really cool. Like a person should know this or sooner
That's what I'm
than
saying.
later. That's a
0.5.
lot of angst over this variety of issues. Like, wait, is something going on with me? And then it's like, oh yeah, by the way, it takes some other doctor to do some crazy probe to figure out the situation. But I'm guessing they probably tried to hide it to make things easier. They probably were thinking that could cause stress at an early, like, I don't know what
Right.
the stress, I'm not saying, definitely at some point you got to figure out without,
Yeah.
because now you're talking about bone conditions and other hormonal situations, and that's worse. Not knowing in that case, I would say is worse, but certainly now is going to be some complexity in
She has a husband now.
figuring out how you want to go forward with it. Because the choice, I guess the choice is up to her or him or whatever it is that they choose to do at this point. Crazy stuff.
Crazy.
Yeah, you see, you never know what's going to show up on Lou later. Well, I can even shock you still these days. All right, last one. We got a little, I'm interested in the history of human beings, life on planet Earth, things like this. Now, there's been a lot of talk in the past about what exactly was it that caused humans to be humans, and particularly our strangely huge brains. Like there was a period of time, relatively from an evolutionary perspective, a short period of time where the human brain grew quite large and way larger than the primate ancestors and things like this. And they're like, wait, what happened in that period? Like what kind of magic? And so you'll find people on YouTube who tell you it was, somebody got touched by an alien. You'll find people on YouTube that say somebody was eating something special.
I heard it was like protein.
Okay, you'll
Eating
find protein.
animal
You hear people say cooking food. Like it's all these different things. Anyway, there's a new study here, and of course it's controversial. Anything around this is going to be controversial, but this is the hypothesis. The hypothesis from scientists at Tel Aviv University suggest that as large animals vanished from the landscape, the large herbivores that humans would have had a relatively easy time getting nutrition from. Right? I mean, you see this picture right here. It's a huge buffalo. And you got 4 or 5 people with spears. And then if they bring the animal down, you're feeding a whole community. So this group over here, the amount of mental energy that would have to go in, the amount of craftiness is not all that much. Big hulking animal, stab, don't get hit. I mean, that's really what it is. There's no trapping, so anyway, what I'm trying to get to is as these animals started to exit the landscape, at least at the volume that they originally were, that humans had now figured out how to hunt them, that humans had to transition to the smaller game. And the smaller game required way craftier techniques to win out and way more hunting in general, right? For the whole community. Because you think about it, you got to catch a rabbit or a small deer or something. It's not the same proceeds for everybody.
Yeah.
So everybody's got to figure it out. And the reason part of and again, controversial hypothesis, whatever, take it for what it is. But actually, the brain afterwards slightly shrank after farming began. So listen to this, okay? Big game hunting brain, 40 cubic inches. 2 million years ago, this is the hypothesis, 2 million years ago, afterwards, it goes to 92 cubic inches. And that's right around the cusp of agriculture becoming the thing.
It's like, this is too easy.
And then the farming comes out and it goes down to 80 cubic inches. So it doesn't go all the way back down, but it goes, isn't that interesting stuff?
Yeah.
So maybe your brain would be more lit up if on the daily you couldn't just reach for the cereal box, or you couldn't just reach for the prepared meal, or go to the grocery store, walk down the aisle and be like, oh, that chicken looks nice, I'll take it.
Yeah. We have to go out and hunt rabbits.
I mean, it would definitely keep you sharp. You'd be in an adrenaline state, starving all the time. a rabbit between you and I. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
That ain't gonna last us too long. We got to be in a crafty mindset. Anyway, it's just a hypothesis. Just a hypothesis, because you do have all those other things occurring too. You do have the the other thing they were saying, if you got the big game, the buffalo, the elephant, whatever you name it, you got the community, you are maybe not finishing the whole animal. You're maybe not as trying to suck all the nutrition. The carcass could sit there, maybe the vultures come along, whatever it might be. When you got the small game, you need to eat all of it. And so what do people end up doing? They end up eating different parts of the animal that they maybe were skipping before.
Oh.
And maybe now what they're doing, they're going to cook the bones till all the marrow, all the fat comes out, all the protein. Maybe they're getting all these other elements of nutrition that were previously being skipped over because of the abundance of the large game. This is the hypothesis. That's what these researchers are working on. Obviously, there's plenty of other hypotheses out there. But I thought this was interesting.
Cool.